Bukayo Saka allegedly stood up in the middle of a closed-door tactical meeting at England's World Cup training camp in Miami and called Thomas Tuchel a snake. It wasn't just a heated moment. It wasn't a misunderstanding. It wasn't the press twisting words. This is serious. Nothing like this has ever been seen in an England setup days into a World Cup campaign. And there's a detail the FA still hasn't confirmed publicly. According to sources present in that conference room, a member of the coaching staff left immediately after the exchange to alert FA officials. And the worst hasn't even come to light yet. Over the next few minutes, you'll understand exactly what happened and why this changes everything for England at the 2026 World Cup. Because when your star winger confronts the manager in front of the entire squad 2 days after the opening match, this isn't just dressing room drama. This is a fracture that threatens team selection, tactical plans, and England's entire tournament structure. Harry Kane is meant to be leading this squad to silverware. And instead, he's caught in the middle of the most toxic atmosphere anyone can remember in a Three Lions camp. And the behind the scenes of this is worse than it looks. It all started around 10 in the morning local time at England's Florida base. The full squad and coaching staff were gathered in the hotel conference room for video analysis. Thomas Tuchel was midway through breaking down defensive transition clips from the opening draw when Bukayo Saka interrupted. According to those present, Saka's voice cut through the room. He stood up and gestured at the screen, reportedly saying Tuchel was asking him to play like a fullback. The silence was instant. Tuchel allegedly responded that tournament football requires sacrifice. That's when Saka reportedly said the word that has dominated every headline since. He called Tuchel's approach a betrayal of what had been promised before the tournament. Harry Kane stood up to intervene. Several players looked at the floor. Jude Bellingham stayed completely still. Tuchel reportedly stared at Saka for several seconds before saying they would speak privately. Saka allegedly walked out before that conversation could happen. Nobody saw it coming. But this didn't come out of nowhere. Bukayo Saka had already expressed private frustration after England's first match, where his touches in the final third were significantly reduced compared to his role at Arsenal. Sources close to the player say Saka felt Tuchel's system was suffocating his natural game, forcing him to track back extensively while Jude Bellingham enjoyed total attacking freedom through the centre. What's being said behind the scenes is that Tuchel's tactical philosophy relies on central overloads, which naturally limits wide players like Saka. There had been whispers in the days leading up to the tournament that Tuchel favoured players he could mould tactically over established stars with fixed styles. Saka's camp had reportedly noticed cooling communication from the coaching staff even before the squad flew to the United States. And here's where the dressing room splits. On one side, Declan Rice and several Arsenal-connected players allegedly sympathise with Saka, believing Tuchel is overcomplicating things and wasting England's most dangerous attacking talent. Declan Rice has been Saka's teammate at Arsenal since 2023, and sources say he's torn between club loyalty and his role as England vice-captain. On the other side, defensive-minded players and some veterans reportedly back Tuchel's pragmatism, pointing out that England has failed in tournaments before by neglecting structure. And in the middle, players like Phil Foden and Marcus Rashford are watching carefully, both wingers aware that how this plays out could affect their own playing time. And hold on, because the most controversial detail I've saved for the end. The reactions have been seismic. Social media exploded within hours of the story leaking. Harry Kane, who's in his fourth major tournament and likely facing his last realistic shot at international silverware, is reportedly frustrated with both sides, but desperate to keep the squad together. Sources close to the coaching staff say assistants are publicly united behind Tuchel but have privately questioned whether the system maximizes England's attacking weapons. The FA is in full crisis management mode, reportedly arranging mediation talks to prevent this from becoming a public war before the next group match. The press has seized on Thomas Tuchel's history at Chelsea and Bayern Munich, where he left both clubs amid reported tensions with star players, drawing parallels that put the German manager under brutal scrutiny. And the fans are divided right down the middle. Younger supporters are backing Bukayo Saka, arguing that asking your best creators to defend first is tournament cowardice when England desperately needs goals. Older fans are defending Tuchel's experience, insisting that World Cups are won by teams who defend as a unit and that individual brilliance only matters if the structure holds. You, as a fan, know what this means. England's dressing room is split, and unity is the first thing that falls apart when tournament pressure builds. Now, here's what changes. England's second group match is in 5 days, and team selection now carries enormous symbolic weight. If Bukayo Saka starts, it signals that Tuchel blinked and lost tactical control. If Saka is benched or used as a substitute, the rift becomes public, and the media narrative shifts entirely to squad disunity heading into knockout rounds. Tactically, England may need to find a compromise system that gives Saka more attacking license while maintaining the defensive shape Tuchel demands. The FA has until 24 hours before the match to manage this internally before press conferences force public statements. The clock is ticking. Now, Thomas Tuchel is caught between two bad decisions. If he backs down and changes his system to appease Bukayo Saka, he loses tactical authority and emboldens other players to challenge instructions, risking defensive chaos against elite opponents in the later stages. But if he doubles down and marginalizes Saka, he loses one of England's most dangerous attacking outlets. A player who has contributed more than 70 combined goals and assists for Arsenal over the past 3 seasons, and creates a media firestorm that could fracture the squad beyond repair. And there's a detail almost nobody noticed. According to witnesses to the exchange, 2 other senior players reportedly nodded in agreement when Saka made his initial point during that meeting. Their identities haven't been revealed, leaving pure speculation about who else shares his frustration and whether this rebellion runs deeper than one winger. And here's where it gets even more serious. Unconfirmed reports suggest a recording of the confrontation exists on someone's phone. If that leaks before the FA can control the narrative, this story turns nuclear. What we're watching is the most severe internal fracture in an England squad since the tournament began. Bukayo Saka, one of the most trusted attacking outlets in the squad, allegedly accused Thomas Tuchel of tactical betrayal in front of everyone who matters. Harry Kane is trying to hold it together. Declan Rice is caught between club loyalty and national duty. Jude Bellingham is the silent beneficiary of a system that puts him at the center while limiting others. And Thomas Tuchel's entire approach is now under question with elimination rounds approaching. And look, this is far from over. This is the information going around so far, but over the next few hours, new details should drip out, and they could turn this whole story upside down. Over to you. Should Bukayo Saka sacrifice his natural attacking game for Tuchel's system? Or is the manager wasting England's best talent with outdated tournament tactics? Write it down below. And if you don't want to find out about the next bombshell after everyone else, subscribe and turn on notifications now, because when this fully blows up, you'll want to be the first to know. not the last.